All right, now we get into the last section of chapter 10. This is section 1010 and 1011 on this particular video, and that deals with promissory or discount notes. And this is another way of borrowing money. Typically, it's for a loan. And basically what you're doing is you're promising to pay back a bank a certain amount of money on a certain date. That's why they call it a promissory note or a discount note. And the reason they call it discount note, and this is interesting, is the bank actually takes their interest off of the loan or off of the amount they give you at the very beginning. So you're not paying interest as you go necessarily. You're just getting less money to start with. So for instance, in a normal loan, you might take out, $20,000 as the first problem mentions, and they give you $20,000 and then you're paying it back with interest so that the time it's done, you've paid more than 20 because you paid the 20 plus the interest over the term of the loan. In a promissory note, they actually, again, take their interest out first. So for instance, you might borrow 20,000, then they're going to take their interest off of that. That's called the bank discount. And then they're going to give you what remains of the 20 as your loan. So in this case, if it's $20,000, and let's just say that it ends up being, $2,500 in interest, they're going to give you $17,500, not 20, $17,500. But by the time you pay it back, you're going to be paying the full 20 back. And so this is what they call bank discounts or promissory notes. You're promising to pay back a certain amount of money by a certain date, and they're going to discount that amount when they actually fund your loan. So it's a little interesting, but it's important for you to know because it happens quite often in business, and it's again used quite often. So it's important for us to know how to work out these kinds of problems. So if you look at your screen, actually there's a couple of formulas here. There's bank discount. That's how much the bank discounts the money, and that is it says their face value. By the way, face value is the amount of the loan you're taking. So it's the same thing as principal. You might just call that principal. And then your discount rate is basically your rate, and then your time we already looked at. So it's really the same factors, but they've named them a little bit differently, and I'll explain all that here in a second. It also, another way to look at it is proceeds are the face value minus the bank discount. So whatever your result is of this, you're going to subtract that from the face value. So again, the bank discounts their interest right up front off of your loan, and then what remains is what we call proceeds. So let me explain in the problem here. Erin here has a $20,000 simple discount promissory note from Sovereign Bank. She wants to pay off her student, or it's for her student loan. She's going to be paying 13% interest. So again, converting 13% is 0.13. And the terms of her note is 330 days. And all promissory notes, I believe, are done on the ordinary method. So it's 360 days. So let's do the math on that. So the math on that comes out to $2,383.33. That is your interest, or what we're calling here the bank discount. Now, why do we call it bank discount? Because before they fund your loan, they're going to minus that interest right off the bat. So that's going to come out to, let's see, 20,000. So they're going to fund you $17,616.67. So that's how much money you're taking a promissory note for 20,000. They're going to discount their interest, $2,383.33. So they're going to give you in your bank the day you take the loan, not 20,000, but 17,616.67. That is called your proceeds. And that is how a bank discount note. So all you need to know when the problem, or when somebody's considering doing a promissory note or a bank discount, is that you're going to discount the interest off of the amount of face value, which is the principal, and then what remains is the proceeds. So again, face value minus bank discount equals proceeds. And proceeds are what they actually give you at the end of the day. Now, moving into the next section, 1011, is we're going to calculate the true interest rate. Now, every loan that you take, every investment that you make, always gives you a posted rate. They'll say 6% or 8%. But when you do the math, you actually find that you either made a little bit more interest or paid a little bit more interest or a little less than what the stated amount said. And that's what we call the effective or true interest rate. And sometimes you can't figure that out until after you have solved the problem. So, or after you've done the loan and know what all your payments were. So in this case, we're going to solve a couple of effective interest rate problems. And these are definitely going to be on the exam and on the quiz. And it's important for you to know what the actual rate is when you're taking out a loan. And this may become valuable when you're calculating your books and things like that. So these problems, both you have to first figure out how much interest was paid. And then in this case, how much of the discount note, how much was the discount amount from the bank, and then how much were the proceeds, etc. Once you figure that out, you can calculate for the effective interest. In fact, here's the formula: effective interest equals bank discount amount divided by proceeds and time. So we want to find this. So we already know discount amount is basically the same as your interest. Proceeds are what you got after they deducted the bank discount, and then your time is what your time is. So we're going to fill in these numbers. We're going to start with the 10,000. We're going to first figure out how much was the bank discount and how much were the proceeds. So 10,000 times 0.14 for 14%. And it's going to be 90 days divided by 360. So we're going to do the math on that. So doing the math, we realize that it is $350 is the amount of discount. That's going to be what we call the bank discount. It's also the same thing as the interest that you paid. So that's how much the bank is going to discount the 10,000. So again, we need to go 10,000 minus 350 equals, and that equals $9,650. So that's now the new, what you would call, that's the new, not the new face value. That's the amount that you would get in your loan. So that's your proceeds, proceeds. And so the formula, if we look up here at the very top, the bank discount is proceeds equal face value minus bank discount. So we just did that. We found the proceeds. And what are they asking here again? They're saying, what's the effective interest rate? Okay, so we need to use the top formula, right? Actually, I'm sorry, we need to use this formula right here. So we know what the bank discount amount is. It was 350. And we also know we need to divide that by the proceeds, which are 9,650 times the time. So what was the time again? 90 divided by 360. So let me do the math on that. All right, the math comes out to $2,412.50. So that's the bottom part. We're going to divide that. We're going to divide 350 by that because that's what the formula says. So let me do the math. So 350 divided by 24,1250 equals 0.14507. So again, if I make that a percentage, it's going to be 14.5%. So how much did they say that I was going to be getting? 14. But how much did I actually pay? 14.5. So that's what we call effective or true interest rate. We can do the same thing for the problem below. First, we need to figure out how much the proceeds were and how much the bank discount was. So we need to do the math using the simple formula. And that comes out to $3,300. So that is what we call the interest or the bank discount. So if I take the 40,000, and then minus the 3,300, that's going to leave me 36,700. That's my proceeds. And again, I'm going to figure out what was my interest. So my interest was, let's see. So my interest was 3,300. So that's what I'm going to start with, 3,300. And I'm going to divide that by my proceeds of 36,700. And I'm going to multiply that by 270 over 360. Let me do the math on that. All right, I do the math on that bottom one, and it comes out to 227,525. I'm going to divide that by 330, 3,300, excuse me, and that comes out to 0.11989. And if I was to make that a percentage, it would come out to 11.99%. So even though they said I was going to be paying 11%, I'm actually paying almost 12%. So that's why it's important for you to figure out the actual interest rate you're paying, and that's how you do it. And there'll be some problems like that on your quiz as well as your exam. So that's pretty much it for chapter 10. Now we'll be moving into chapter 11 in another video.